After a brutal sell-off earlier this month, Singapore REITs have staged a strong rebound. But the question now is that will the recovery last, or is this just a temporary bounce before more volatility? Well, amidst all the uncertainty from global trade tensions and market swings, a few standout REITs have quietly shown resilience, backed by strong occupancy, positive rental reversions, and bullish signals from my One Good Trend strategy and even from my One GT Pro indicator. So stay with me because in this video, I'm about to review to you just three Singapore REITs that are still holding firm and maybe positioning for even more upside. Let's go. So let's take a look at this news article right over here, right? As REITs rebound from early April sell-off. So I think all of you know about the sell-off early of April when Donald Trump's unleashed reciprocal tariffs on dozens of countries, and even the tariffs on China is now at a high of 145%, right? So that has caused a lot of uncertainty. A lot of stocks have sold off. Even the Singapore REITs have sold off as well. But some of them have rebounded, some of them are still weak, some of them have gone down even more. So as REITs may offer investors some shelter because given their weak correlation with the US and global equity. So it might be seen a little bit as a defensive as well for S-REITs, but of course not all REITs are strong. Some are actually still weak and even heading lower. So you want to know what are the three REITs to actually focus on that are at least in an uptrend as well. So real estate investment trusts in Singapore have rebounded strongly over the past 2 weeks in line with the broader recovery in the Singapore market following the sell-off in early April. So as of last Thursday close, right, the iREIT S-REIT index, which pretty much tracks the REITs, right, has climbed 5.9% since April 11, with all 30 constituents ending flat or even higher. So S-REITs with international exposure, and of course those holding hospitality assets, right, stay tuned because that's what I'm going to review one of them later, all right, rank among the top performance. So over the past 2 weeks, the top 10 performance in the iREIT S-REIT index mostly saw net institutional inflows. So that's inflows, which is a good thing, funds coming into the REITs, all right? With counters receiving about $20.3 million in net institution inflows. However, if you look at the broader S-REIT sector, right, that is where institution and retail investors were actually net sellers. So not all REITs are good, right? Only the top 10 performers, yes, there's inflow, but other and out of the top 10, well, they're actually net selling pressure. So institutional investors net sold $36.6 million in S-REITs. So essentially what you want to know is that not all REITs are seeing inflows, some REITs are seeing outflows, all right? So you want to focus on those with at least inflows coming in, and not just that, but they look good on the chart as well. They are seeing some bullish signals as well. So let's move right into the first Singapore REIT I'd like to share with you today, and that would be Fraser's Hospitality Trust. The code is ACV. Right over here, trading at about 66 cents. You can see, right, for Fraser Hospitality Trust, right, one of the stocks that we've been watching since last year, December, we have turned into a pretty good long-term uptrend just by looking at the 100 days moving average line. The red line is pointing up. Even the blue line, 200 days moving average, is pointing up. So it has been pointing up since like December, right above the blue. So longer term uptrend is actually intact since about 5 months back. But if you look at the short term trend, well, we want to focus on the green 20 days moving average line. So it's up in December, and then somewhere in like February starts coming down, and then somewhere in March it came down, flat a little bit, and now it seems to be moving up as well, right? So right now, as of today, right, I would say that the longer term trend is up and the short term trend is up. So we want to focus on stocks like these whereby there's capital inflows, right, institutional inflows as well. So this was one of the stocks that we see inflows in the institutional space as well, and it looks good on the chart. So over the past week, well, we have seen this break of a very key resistance level right over here, and that would be what we call the 60 cents. So 60 cents is a very key psychological resistance level. You can see that since December, we kind of like touched it about one time, came down. Right over here, we sold off, same thing here, came down. But over the past week, well, we did not came down, or we did not come down. We actually broke above the 60 cents, held above it, all right, and actually sent out a note to my VIP clients in Philip Securities as well, because we went above the 60 cents. Definitely there are some meaningful signs of a potential move in terms of more upside, all right? And of course, the short-term trend, the green line also started to turn up. So clients were alerted to it, and over the past few days, it seems like we have pushed a little bit higher from about 61, 62, Today it closed about 0.66. So not too bad, not too bad. All right. And what we could do is kind of do a little bit of a projection as to where we can potentially head to. Well, we can do that by kind of like doing a bit of a range. You can see right over here, we have been consolidating over the past 4 to 5 months from that 52 to maybe that 60 cents range, right over here, about an 8 cents range. So we could do a little bit of projection from here to here, where I would say targets could be around that 68 to maybe 70 cents. I think that could be a near-term target right away. So let's just put 70 cents, right? So that would be something like a psychological resistance level for now, whereby some profit taking, might see a bit of consolidation below before attempting to push even higher. So what we can do right now is that, for any stocks, and of course this REIT as well, I'm able to turn on my one good trend pro indicators. You can see right over here, this one good trend pro indicator, in short it's called 1GT pro indicator. Right over here, I can simply turn on what we call the buy and sell signals. Let me just go to turn it on. 1, 2, 3, pump. Right over here, right, and you can see very quickly for Fraser's Hospitality Trust, well, we actually had a couple of bullish signals in December when it really all started to get 2 bullish signals, starts moving up, and of course we got a bearish signal in February, starts coming down, a bullish signal went up a little bit, and of course this was the bearish signal that was on the 7th of April. I think all of you know that date, right? That's where Donald Trump actually unleashed massive reciprocal tariffs on dozens of countries. Almost all stocks came down. The market sold off by 5%, all right, in the US, Singapore market, STI sold off as well. So we actually got a bearish signal, right? And we move probably sideways a little bit. The short-term trend flattened out a little bit, but over the past week, well, we have not one, but we have 2 bullish signals actually coming out. So based on this one good trend pro indicator, I was actually alerted as well, because I actually set an alert, right? How to set an alert? Well, very simple. Alternate A, all right, you could choose that one good trend pro, all right, buy or sell alert. Once per bar, pump, done. All right, so I set an alert, I was alerted. Of course, now when there's a new bearish sell signal that comes out, I'll be alerted to it as well to probably get out, take some profit, right? But so far, there isn't any bearish signal, as you can see, right? What is a bearish signal? Well, I mean, a bearish signal would be something like this over here, this red signal, right? That's where you might want to be careful. We might see a bit of a selling pressure coming back. So right now, I think it looks pretty good. There's 2 bullish signals still playing out, right? There's no bearish signal. The longer term uptrend is intact. The short term trend in terms of the green line was like flat a little bit after Donald Trump's tariffs, but now it has started to point up, I would say, over the past 1 week. So not too bad. This is one of the stocks you could put in a watch list in terms of the Singapore REITs that actually has been quite resilient, all right, compared to many other REITs as well in the hospitality sector. So let's see, right? 70 cents would be a very key resistance level. Might consolidate below it for a while, but if you break 70 cents, targets could be revised maybe all the way up to 80 cents as well. All right, let's move on to the second Singapore REIT I'll share with you. And if you want to find out, guys, a little bit on the entire one good trend strategy and perhaps how you could have an indicator like this called the 1GT Pro indicator, whereby, in a matter of seconds gives you an idea of whether to buy or sell. Well, just click on the link below the video, all right, in the description as well. Check it out. Attend one of those free webinars whereby I share with you guys a little bit more on the strategy and perhaps how you could have access to this indicator for free as well. All right, check it out. Link in the description. Right. So this is the second Singapore REIT I'd like to share with you today, and that would be Kaplan Intercom Trust. Right. The code is C38U. Right. C38U. So you can see right over here, it is at about $2.16 as of today close. Right. So let me just go to draw a very key resistance level right over here at about $2.20. You can see, right? So that was, look at this, right? So that was where we touched and sold off on the 4th of April. So you can see, right? 4th of April, pretty much when Trump actually introduced those tariffs. And of course, everything sold off and we actually sold all the way down. Saw a pretty good candle right over here. This is something like what we call a doji, all right? A reversal kind of candle. And we saw a rebound back up again. But we are back to this same $2.20 psychological resistance level as well. So you can see, right, I've set some alerts right over here like 221, 222, maybe at 223 as well. Well, if it breaks the 220 resistance level, I want to be alerted because that is where potentially we may see more upside momentum because we have broke this resistance that we have sold off just about a month back, about 3 weeks back. And now, by just breaking above it, of course, we look at other things like the volume, the candlestick, and of course, the trend as well in the short term. Well, that will give more confirmation of the next phase of the upside. So 220 would be a very key resistance level for now. And let's take a look at Kaplan Intercom Trust in terms of the moving averages, in terms of the trend in the longer term and also the short term. So you can see, right, in terms of the longer term trend, well, the rate, like 100 days moving average, it is kind of like below the blue line. So not so good. We want the red line to be above the blue line, right? So in order to be above, you need to cross above, right? So the red is above the blue, great, right? So that's where it was in like 2024. The red 100 days moving average went above the blue line and both started to point up and went all the way up. So we want the red line to be above the blue line. That would mean that the longer term trend has turned up a bit more firmly. We could start to see an uptrend, in terms of the longer term, in terms of the reversal happening more strongly, all right? So red going above the blue, I think that would be happening as well. If we can even break the 220, I think that could be the case as well. In terms of the short-term trend, well, look at this, right? The green line was like flat, right, sideways from December to February, but somewhere over here in late or maybe mid of Feb, you can see the green 20 days moving average line started to point up. There we go, right, all the way up. Now the green line came down a little bit, starting to flatten out as well. So if we can break the 220, I think this 20 days moving average, the green line, can potentially start to point even higher, giving it another confirmation of the next leg of upside. So let me just go to turn on what we call the 1GT, the One Good Trend Pro indicator, and let's see what it says on this indicator in terms of the buy and sell signals. Let me turn it on, 1, 2, 3, pump. So you can turn this on any stocks, any asset classes. It gives you an opinion in seconds whether to get out, to buy, or to sell. All right, so you can see this is Kaplan Intercom Trust. So not too bad, right? Look at this, right? We had actually 2 bullish signals, as I say, somewhere in May last year, somewhere in July. Remember, I talked about the green line starting to point up. So that was another confirmation. There we go, right? All the way up. Of course, bearish signals, it starts coming down. The green line point down as well. Not so good. You want to get out when you see like a bearish signal. So let's take a look, right? Over the past few months in February, we've got 2 bullish signals, and that led the rally all the way up. Of course, on this day where everything sold off, we got a bearish signal as well. So I think right now you want to watch this 220 resistance, because my take is this, right? I think if we can break above the 220, we would even see, I mean, it hasn't come out yet, but I'm definitely watching it, all right? I'll be alerted to it if it does come out. But if we do break the $2.20 resistance level, I'm not too sure exactly when. It could be tomorrow, it could be next week, it could be next week, all right? But if we break the 220, we see a new bullish signal, right? We go to like 221 or 223. I mean, I'll be alerted as well because I've set my price alert, right? And we go above 220, we stay above 220. I think we get another bullish signal coming out. We see the short-term trend turning up even more like that in terms of the green line. Well, that is where we could see even more upside momentum, right? So that's where you could ride the upside even more, right? So that will be the second Singapore REIT I'd like to share with you. Put in your watch list, Kaplan Intercom Trust. All right, let's move on to the third and final Singapore REIT that you want to put in your watch list for potentially more upside, and that would be Partway Live REIT, right? The code is C2PU, right? C2PU, and we are trading at about $4.18 right here. So very quickly, right, I've turned on, just to save time, the 1GT Pro bullish and even bearish signals. You can see, right, that was in like May last year, about a year back, couple of bullish signals. From here, another bullish signal, another one that went even faster all the way up, and then we got a bearish signal, about 15% upside in about 6 months, came down when the bearish signal came out. But since, I would say, December or November last year, right, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullish signals coming out. Are there any bearish signals right now? Well, there aren't any bearish signals. So it seems to be still good, right? The long-term uptrend looks intact. Look at the red and blue. I think I talked about it, right? So red and blue both pointing up. Long-term uptrend intact. What about the green line? Is it pointing up or down? Well, we can see, right? The green line, when we had the first bullish signal, it was like flat, a bit boring, right? Flat, up, and there we go. Bullish signals point up as another confirmation. Down a little bit, right? We got another bullish signal coming out. Green line also started to point up as another confirmation, and there we go, all the way up. So now let's see, what is the green line doing? The green 20 days moving average line, right? That represents the short-term trend. Unfortunately, it is sideways, right? It is not really pointing up. I mean, if it's up, it's up. It's down, it's down. We have to bluff ourselves. So right now, it is It was like, I mean, it was up like about 1 month ago, right? 2 weeks ago, it was like up. Now, I would say it is pretty much like flat, all right? Pretty much flat. I mean, I can put it in green color as well. So it just means a bit of a sideways consolidation in the short term. Does it mean it's going to crash? Does it mean it's going to go up tomorrow? No, it doesn't mean that. It just means that we are moving sideways in a range, all right? In the short term, it could be 1 week, 2 weeks. I mean, based on what we have experienced over the past 2 weeks. So it could be in the short term, could be another 1 week or 2 weeks. Right now, we are consolidating. So when we are consolidating, what would be a very key resistance, a horizontal resistance level and a horizontal support level? Because once it's consolidating, it means that we are moving up and down a range, right? Whether is it a horizontal support or horizontal resistance. So we can draw these lines very quickly. So I can just draw it for you. You can see right over here. I think that would be a near-term horizontal support level. Let's put it in green in color to be easier. I think that would be, that would be the $4. Look at this, right? The $4. Okay, let me just remove this green line that I've drawn. So $4 would be a psychological support level. That's where, over the past, I would say month over month, we have been supporting above it. So what about the resistance level, right? A level by every time we go up and come back down, go up and come back down. What is that price level? Well, I think that would be around the $4.30 level. So the range for Partway Live REIT is from $4 to $4.30. Right? It's just pretty much a 30 cents range moving up and down. In fact, when we went to that $4 range right over here, not too bad, right? Look at this candle right over here, right? Even though it's red in color, but it was a long lower shadow, something like a hammer, whereby we went below 430, we went to a low of like $4.11 on the 9th of April. Oh, that was after the tariffs, right? I think everything came down. You can see on this day, came down as well, sold off as well, right? So we actually went below $4, right? It went to $4.11, all right? The day low. But what happens, right? Buyers came back and started buying all the way back up, and it closed at around $4.05, which is above $4. So I think that kind of like gives another confirmation or like an idea that this $4 psychological support level is quite strong. I mean, even though after the tariff thing we sold below it, buyers came back and pushed it all the way back up above the $4. Does it make sense? All right, so not too bad, right? So this $4 would be a very critical support level for now. If we stay above the $4 level, I think not too bad. It still looks pretty okay. It's just moving sideways for now. All right, and look at this, right? As I say, these bullish signals are still in play. We are pretty much moving sideways. If we do break this $4.30, so you can see right over here, right? I've already set my alerts. On the right, you can see, right, pump, 432, 433, 434. If we do break the 430, I need to be alerted. I think that's where potentially we might even see a new bullish 1 GT signal coming out, like what we have seen over here. Pump went up faster. If we see it break the 430, I think another bullish signal can come out, all right? And of course, the short-term trend, the green line, from like going flat, it starts to also point up as another confirmation. Great, right? That is where we will get another confirmation of even more upside. Targets could be revised. Let's see where we could potentially go. So we can do a bit of a projection right over here. From like $4 to $4.30, it's like a 30 cents range, right? So you kind of like project it from here, maybe to $4.60, right? That could be the next upside targets. And if you look at this $4.30, I think it is very key, right? Why? I mean, not only that we have been below it over the past 2 weeks, and when Trump announced the tariffs as well, right, we're still below it. But if you look back a little bit, somewhere in September last year, right over here, in fact, 26 September, let me just put this in red in color because it's a bit bearish. So we actually headed to this 430. Right, look at it, we headed to 430, and we actually have a bearish signal. Look at this, right? Even though it's green in color, but is this the opposite of a bullish candle? We have a long upper shadow, something like a shooting star, long wick in the upper level. It means it went all the way up, and it was a green bullish candle. But what happens, right? Sellers came back and pushed it all the way back down, all right? And that's where we have a long upper shadow, a long upper wick. And what happens after that? You can see it starts selling all the way down, right? So you can see that this resistance at 430 is pretty much back to right over here where we are still below. So it's a very strong resistance level. We are seeing selling right now. We are consolidating below it right now, which is normal, right? But if it's strong, but if we break above it still one day, I mean, it could be next week, that could mean something, right? That could mean that we are now potentially moving up, right? It's a upwards phase, it's a new upside targets, then can be revised even higher, right? So let's wait for the moment. I already set my alert, so let's see when that actually comes, right? So that will be Partway Live REIT. The code is C2PU that you can put in your watch list for potentially more upside. All right, guys, so that is pretty much the 3 Singapore REITs that you can put in your watch list for potentially even more gains or more upside. As I say, we are looking for certain things to happen in terms of the price level, in terms of key resistance level being broken as well. Of course, when I get any alerts as well. So you have found, as I say, guys, in terms of the entire one good trend strategy, or perhaps how you could have an access, to an indicator like this. You click a button on any stocks, any asset classes, not just the Singapore REITs, right? Get an opinion whether to buy or sell. Well, attend one of those free webinars. The link is right below the video as well. And of course, if you want to get some of those ideas much faster, by WhatsApp daily. So actually send out a note to my VIP clients, I think for like Fraser's Hospitality Trust as well over the past 1 week. All right, so if you want to get ideas like this faster by WhatsApp live as it happens, check out the links right in the video as well. All right, below the video, find out how you can become a VIP client of mine in Phillip Securities for free and no additional cost. You do not pay anything more, pretty much the same as whatever you're paying when you're trading anyway. All right, so if you're not getting any service from your own broker, all right, no service, no ideas, no training, no videos like this, nothing. All right, nobody WhatsApp you. It's just like a hotline. Check it out, link below. Find out how you can become a VIP client of mine in Phillip Securities as well for free at no additional cost. So Joey here, thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this video and you want to put these 3 Singapore REITs in your watch list. Till then, go ahead to like, subscribe as well. I look forward to see you in the next video. Take care.